I think it's really exciting that I've only spent like a total of 1 hour in a real English classroom so far in practicum last week, but I've already been able to see how our class readings and just the stuff that we're talking about applies to the classroom. I feel like I've heard from a lot of teachers that like when you're in the real classroom, all that theory stuff, like it just goes out the window. But that's not true at all. And I can already say that because I've already seen it in practicum. And the first thing I thought of was about our backwards planning reading. I mentioned this in my reflection that I had to post for practicum, um, but that was for the other class. So our student teacher, who was Mr. Harwood, he told the students actually about how he backwards planned the lesson. He just kind of like briefly mentioned it while he was doing some explicit instruction, which I thought was really cool because I was like, oh, hey, I've been learning about backwards planning. And then we talked about it with him, just us, um, after, and he was telling us about the importance of like starting with an end goal in mind and then kind of working your way back. And then something else that he did in his lesson that I really admired was he told the students what they were doing and why they're going to do it. Like he read the standard to them and he kind of just like briefly broke it down. Like, this is why it's important that you know how to do this. This is where it's going to come into play later in the year. And so I thought that was really important since we've also kind of been talking a little bit about standards and like not just giving them to administration, but like explaining them to the students and kind of giving the students a why. I think that's really important to do, and I really appreciated it when I was a student, and so I'm excited to give my students a why. I just think it helps a lot when you're tasked with doing something to know why you have to do it. So those were two things so far from our class readings and discussion that I've seen in practicum, and I'm excited to see some more tomorrow.